Ishtavankalai Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Ki Jai, Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai Sri Krishna Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Krishna Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Sri Krishna Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
This morning we are reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Adi-Lila, chapter 4, confidential reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and text 55. So I read this Bengali. I don't really know what is the note, how to read it. Anyway, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritirladini Sakti Rasma Ekatmana Apipuvi Puradeha Pedam Katau Caitanya Kyam Prakatam Atuna Tadvayam Chaikam Aptam Radha Pavaduti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Word by word, Radha, Srimati Radharani,
Srimati Radharani,
Krishna,
Krishna,
the Lord Krishna, Pranaya, a Lord, Vikriti, the transformation, Hladini Shakti, lesser potency, Asma, from this, Eka Atma now, both the same in identity, Api, Auto, Puvi, on earth, Pura, from beginningless time, Deha Vedam, separate forms, Gatau, obtained, Tau, these two, Chaitanya Akyam, known as Sri Chaitanya, Prakatam, manifest, Atuna, now, Tatvayam, 2 and 10, Cha, and Aikyam, unity, Aptam, obtained, Radha, Srimati Radharani, Bhava, mood, duty, luster, Suvalitam, who is adorned with, Naumi, I offer my obeisances, Krishna Swarupam, to him who is identical with Sri Krishna. The translation and short explanation were both by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. This text is from the diary of Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. It appears as the first 14 verses of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. Madhyana Timirandasya Jnana Chana Salakaya Saksum Viritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So in this text, little bit in purport. It is explained who are Radha, Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Radha and Krishna, they are transcendental. What does that mean, transcendental? Something is transcended. And what is that? It's the material world, material energy, and three modes. As long as we are under the control of the material energy, which is Durga Devi, she is also manifestation, expansion of Radharani. We are under the modes of three modes in material nature. And these three modes, this material nature, is controlling us completely. We have only small independence under her control. And it is explained that this independence is that we can choose whether we want to love Krishna or not to love. And we have chosen not to love from time immemorial. And no one knows the beginning of our existence in this material world. So, but Radha and Krishna, they are beyond this manifestation, three modes. And they are transcendental, they are on pure platform where there is no any contamination of this material energy, and of course it is logical because Krishna is the Lord of the material nature. Maya yaksina prakriti suyatajat sarat saram pitunana kaunteya satat vipari vartate, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that he is the ultimate master of this material energy, which is creating and annihilating all these universes. So he's the master, so he's not under, he's above. And Radharani, also Srimati Radharani, who is Krishna's pleasure-giving potency, which is also said in this verse. She is also above the material nature because actually her expansion, Durga Devi, is the material nature personification. And the author is here explaining that Radha and Krishna are one in their identity. This is also great mystery, how they are one. But from time immemorial, they have divided into two for the reason to enjoy. This enjoyment, it requires two at least, because then there is this exchange between two persons, and this is the source of the pleasure and happiness. On the pure platform, now we are thinking now that yes, but it's also the great source of unhappiness and distress, these exchanges between living entities in this material world. As everybody knows, sometimes I feel that I'm most happy when I'm alone somewhere in the forest, where there are not anybody around. But this is because we are under the modes of the nature. And then we feel we have to meet with these dualities, happiness and distress, and they are caused by other living entities, caused by demigods, caused by our mind, and so on. But on the pure spiritual platform, that's not so. Because there, even this so-called distress is happiness. This we can learn from Krishna Lila. Mother Yasoda, she was always anxious about Krishna's safety when Krishna was a baby, small boy. Anxiety, usually we don't think that is pleasurable. But in the spiritual platform, that is also pleasure, it's a source of bliss, anxiety. And fear also, Mother Yasoda, she's a good example. Many times she had fear about the safety of Krishna. That was also source of great happiness, bliss. We could say that always when Krishna is the center point of our mind and thoughts, there is a happiness and bliss. And we can ask that what about demons when Kamsa? He was always thinking of Krishna as the enemy. Did he feel great bliss about that? I don't know answer to this question actually. It's not, at least in Krishna book when you read about Kamsa, it's not said that he was in the bliss all the time, because his heart was covered by envy and hatred and anger. So whatever bliss there might have been, it was there hidden. There was no manifestation of this bliss at all. And we know that Kamsa was very jubilant once. You remember when one demon, Adi-Lila, he assumed this illusory form of a great snake python, who was laying there in Vrindavan forest, his mouth open. And the government boys were wondering, what is this? Is it a game? Some said that it's a game, let's go there and play it. Some others said, no, it looks like a snake, we should not go there. But anyway, then they decided to go there to see what is this. And they marched into his mouth. And then Krishna was still outside the mouth of Adi-Lila, and he was surprised to see the activities of the material energy. That material energy has created such a huge illusory python. And then, because his friends went there, he also decided to follow. And he also went to the mouth of python Adi-Lila. And when Krishna was in, then Adi-Lila closed his mouth. And Kamsa, somehow or other, he got the information that now Krishna and Kavahar boys, they are inside the mouth of Adi-Lila. He was jubilant. There was a festival in the palace of Kansa. Krishna is destroyed. This is the great day of jubilation. But he was too hasty, because, as we know from the story, it was not the end of this. Krishna expanded himself in the throat of Adi-Lila so that Adi-Lila couldn't breathe. And Adi-Lila was in great anxiety, and he left his body, and his life air penetrated the skull and flew out. And then the mouth opened again, and the body became slack, and Krishna marched out, and he revived his covered boys who were unconscious inside there, and they also marched out. So Kamsa's jubilation was short-term. So then author then explains that now these two transcendental identities, Radha and Krishna, again they have become one. And this one is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he is explaining that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, but he is Krishna. And this is also a great mystery. That was mystery how the one supreme person has divided into two, to Krishna and Radha to enjoy. And now there is another mystery, how they again became one, and in a way that this one Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sentiments and complexion is Srimati Radharani, but ultimately still is Krishna himself. This great mystery. So it is very important to understand that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sentiments are Srimati Radharani's sentiments. That means that he loves Krishna. Krishna is the object of his love. He is not the enjoyer, but he is giving enjoyment to Krishna. As Radharani's purpose of existence is to give satisfaction to Krishna. And so in the same way, the purpose of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to give satisfaction to Krishna. Krishna is the enjoyer, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the enjoyer. As we will see in Ratha Yatra procession in Puri, when we advance in Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, how Lord Jagannath, who is Krishna, is the enjoyer, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, is enjoyed by Krishna when he is dancing before Lord Jagannath's Ratha Yatra guard. So Krishna enjoys and is devotee. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives enjoyment to Krishna. So in the same way, this Krishna Hare Krishna movement, it's our duty also to duty. Well, duty maybe is not a good word. It's our desire to satisfy Krishna, give satisfaction to Krishna. And there are 9 different limbs of devotional service by which a devotee gives satisfaction to Krishna. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam. Maybe there was not. Vasudevi's massage in Vishnu's legs, what was that? Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Vishnu, Archanam, Dasyam, Vandanam, Sakyam. One is missing. Is this Vasudevi's service to Vishnu? Somebody remembers. What is that? Parasema. Okay, Parasema. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this is Hare Krishna. Thank you. These are the ways the limbs of the devotional service, and by these execution of these performance of these limbs, we satisfy Krishna. We are enjoyed by Krishna. Krishna is the enjoyer. We are enjoyed when we practice these 9 limbs of devotional service. Like chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna enjoys, and we are enjoyed by Krishna when we chant attentively Hare Krishna mantra. And this was the duty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always to give satisfaction to Krishna, and it's also duty or the desire followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give satisfaction to Krishna, satisfy Krishna. And yesterday I was reading books and I found this from 11th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. There is Krishna is explaining to Uddhava what pleases him. And there is long list of things that don't please me so much, although they please people, but they don't please most. Long list, you can read yourself. You know, even taking sannyas is there on the list.
Really?
Yeah. And then there is what pleases me most, and that was satsanga. Satsanga is devotees come together, sit together and speak about Krishna. And the satsanga. And this pleases Krishna very much. In this connection, he says that most, but Krishna, of course, he here and there he is saying something that this is most pleasing to me. And I don't know, it is absolute siddhanta, but it's very important. Satsanga. Sit down together, or you can stand also if you want, but speak about Krishna together. So therefore, the Bhagavatam lecture or discussion is very important part of our sadhana and our bhakti. And we should always, every day, every morning, we should discuss about Bhagavatam. We don't have lecture every morning. We have maybe three times lecture in a week, but we should, outside that, we should sit down in the temple room as devotees do, and they read about Krishna, and they also can discuss about Krishna. This is also very good if everybody is saying something, trying to say something about Krishna. First we read and then we discuss. So, and we learned from Srila Prabhupada's purport that this text, which appears here, it is from Srila Swarup Damodara Goswami's diary. Who was Srila Swarup Damodara Goswami? He was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary in Puri, in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sannyasa, Lila. And he had a diary. He wrote down all what happened to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he did and what his devotees did. And this was very important because this diary was then studied by Raghunath Goswami, who also witnessed these pastimes. And later on, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu according to what he had heard from Raghunath Goswami. Did he have this diary also? I'm not sure now. When they were living in Vrindavan, Kaviraj Goswami was writing Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, and Raghunath Goswami was living there also, and he was reciting his pastimes. But was there also some written notes? Maybe, I'm not sure now. And another person who also had diary about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Navadvip was Murari Gupta. He wrote down also. Therefore, we have Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam, we have Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, and Chaitanya Mangala, some other books about Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta. And it's very important that we have these written down evidences about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his pastimes, so that they were written quite during the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the planet, and quickly after his disappearance. So they are quite authentic, these authoritative writings that has in research, in the history of religion, this has often been the problem, that the propounder of the religion, he is giving his teachings, and he has his disciples, then he leaves the planet, and no one writes down anything. And then after 100 years, they start to write down something. They are asking that, do you remember what somebody told you about this person? And then they are writing down, and they are not very accurate anymore. However, we see that there are some differences also in the stories in Sri Caitanya Bhagavata and in Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, but they are more like details. They are not like philosophical differences. These kind of things, there are no differences about the identity of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and about his followers. Okay, let's see what is it. Oh, this I read this when we had Radhastami. So we end this reading here, and we want to remind all devotees to regularly read Srila Prabhupada's books, especially Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, and have these gatherings daily to discuss about the topics of Sri Krishna and Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. And this is part of our sadhana, and it makes us also happy. What was there in the Bhagavad Gita? Citta markata prana, potyantas parasparam, katyantas samam nityam, katyantas samam tustam, nityam, tustatitsa ramatitsa, something like that. Which means that the thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are dedicated or devoted to my devotional service, and they derive great satisfaction and peace from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. It's a very good verse. They derive great satisfaction and peace about describing Krishna's pastimes and conversing about them. This is also smarana. Sometimes we see that these 9 limbs of devotional service, they cover each other a little bit. This is also smarana. It is also kirtanam and sravanam and smarana. Can it be also dasyam? Maybe. So, thank you very much. Do you have any comments or questions? Please say.
Hare Krishna. Mainitsit siitä käärmeestä siellä Vrindavanassa. Miten me voitaisiin ymmärtää, että se on niin iso se käärme siellä? Ja miten se on mahdollista, että se on niin iso?
How can we understand the Akasura was so big snake python there in Vrindavan? Yeah, you are not the only one who was wondering that, but Brahma also later on, when he saw that, he was wondering, what is this? But Brahma is the creator of the universe, but still he was also wondering. And then he was told by some that it was this Akasura and Krishna killed him. What? Krishna killed him? This huge snake? How is it possible? Is he really the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It is possible by the yogic powers of these demons that comes as sent to kill Krishna. They were great yogis, but they were evil-minded yogis. There are different kinds of yogis. Some are saints, yogis, some are evil, demons, demoniac yogis. These demoniac yogis, they have these yogic powers, and by these yogic powers, they could assume this kind of illusory form. How it was explained? Okay, let's say, I don't remember exactly how it was explained, but illusory form created by mind. And it's so real, you cannot distinguish this is real or false. No possibility if it would appear in front of us. And the Cowherd poet, they really thought that this is something real. And Krishna was also, he was not illusion, of course, Krishna. He could see that this is a demon. He could see that this is illusory form, but he was surprised at the power, at the material energy, that somebody has some powers, that he can create such an illusion. But it's not surprising because this material body that we have is also like a kind of illusory form, and we identify ourselves with that. I think that this body, and this is a very deep conviction. All entities, things like that, and this is illusory in a sense. Okay, so Prabhupada explains it is real because it has this material energy has emanated from the Krishna, and Krishna is real, and what comes out of him is real. But it's illusory in a sense that it's temporary. And this Akasura form, this also was temporary, and it remained after annihilation of Akasura. This body that he had created, it remained there, and this is amazing. But the reason might be that Lord Brahma came and could see it, and also that cowherd boys later on, they were playing there. I don't know what was there, maybe bones or something, but it was a playground for them. How is this possible? Yeah, Krishna was also, Brahma was bewildered, and Krishna was also surprised about this. We can also be. That how is it possible that there are such illusory forms? Now you can make some videos with modern technology. They look very real, right? You are looking from the phone and wow, this is something. But it's illusory, complete illusory. There is no reality. Such a reality doesn't exist outside our form. And there it is also temporary. So we can, even by modern technology, we can create such illusions, or to speak of the great yogis who can do it. These illusions, okay? And here, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Peace and grace, Hanumanananda Prabhu ki jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, the mercy of the Vaishnavas.